What's going on, guys? So I am going to do a pumpkin ale for this year, and it's the same old pumpkin ale I like to do. I adjusted the recipe a few times, but I'm really happy with this particular recipe. So anyways, what I got to do is, I'm not going to brew today, I'm brewing tomorrow, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the pumpkin baked, and so all the caramelization and sugars kind of come out of the pumpkin. And I'm just using some plain old pumpkin puree, just pure pumpkin puree. It doesn't matter what brand you use, but I'm using this one. And I may be joined by a couple of folks tomorrow, I don't know. It might just be me, but we'll see. Anyways, let's get in on this right quick. Alright guys, let's go over the grain bill right quick. We're going to use 10 pounds of US 2-row. We're going to use 1 pound of Crystal 60 Lovabond, Caramel Crystal 60. We're going to use 1 pound of Victory Malt. And we're going to use 1 pound of Biscuit Malt. And the reason why we're using the Victory and the Biscuit is they're both going to kind of give you that pie crust flavor you're looking for in your beer. It's going to taste like a real pumpkin pie, I'm telling you guys. It's pretty good beer. And also 2 pounds of rice hulls. These will help create some space in your mash if you need it. If the puree, pumpkin puree, causes any kind of stuck sparge, this will help reduce it greatly. For the hops, we're using 2 ounces of German Hallertauer hops. I found that German hop really just does something for the beer. And we'll do 1 ounce at 60 minutes, and we'll do another ounce 5 minutes till the boil is over. So we will go more into all this when we get to cooking. Alright guys, we are at a strike temp of 154, which is what we want. So let's go ahead and get our grain bill mashed in here. We're going to mash in the rice hulls first, and then we're going to put the grain in, and then we're going to put the pumpkin in last. So let's get on it. Alright guys, as you can see earlier, my mash was a real gloopy, thick mash, and it's because those rice hulls take up a little bit of absorption on the water. I do have a okay recirc going on with the mash, and I'll show you that here in a second. But a lot of it's going down through the center overflow. I may extend this mash by about 30 more minutes, depending on where my pre-boil or my mash gravity is, I should say. Because pre-boil will include my sparge water as well. So, but I may extend the mash about half an hour, depending on what I get as far as sugar extraction here in my grain. So let's take a look at the mash right quick. As you can see, it's a real slow recirc. It is recircing. I did have to kill the pump a couple times and turn it back on because we had some grain bits in the pump. So I'm turning the pump back on, and you'll see it kicks up pretty nice. But yeah, it's got a nice color to it. It's definitely going through the grain bed as well because we're getting some good color. And we still got 41 more minutes on the original mash time here. But yeah, I might switch it to 1 pound of rice hulls next time I do this beer. It seemed like the rice hulls took up a lot of my water, but it's flowing real well. So I'm just gonna leave it be. And I'll check the gravity when we get closer to the end of the 60-minute period. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and sparge this out. I'm not going to bore you with the sparging process. If you've seen it before, if you haven't, just basically going to run water through this grain bed. I do have a bit of a stuck sparge going like I thought I would, and it's going to be a slow sparge process. But we'll get through it. And right now my Brix is reading about 9 on the scale, so that's not good. But I'm not really that concerned. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of sugar stuck in this grain that I'm gonna wash out anyways. So I'm gonna just be patient with this and just rock and roll with it. So we'll get back when we're pushing for boil. Alright guys, my pre-boil volume actually came right at 6 gallons. Which is what I was supposed to get. I had a hell of a stuck sparge. That sparge took over an hour to do, and usually I can get a sparge done in like 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Cheers. Anyways, let's take a look at the kettle. We are very close to the boil. I am going to take a pre-boil gravity refractometer reading here real quick because I want to know, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be sad. And this is going to be a cloudy, cloudy, cloudy wort because I have to do all kinds of stuff. Okay, actually, it's not that bad. My pre-boil refractometer is 12. So actually, man, I might be okay. There was a lot of trapped sugars in that malt. And I did a lot of stirring around, and while I was sparging to kind of rinse all those sugars out, and I think a lot of them were trapped in there. The starch to sugar conversion occurred, but it was trapped inside the malt pipe. But so far I'm happy. I was a little concerned at the beginning, but it looks like we're going to be at boil here in just a few minutes, and then we'll do our first hop addition. But so far so good. So like I said, I'm very happy with a 12 pre-boil on the refractometer. That is about where I expect to be on my gravity. So I think we're going to be okay. This beer always gives me trouble every year, but man, it is so worth it. It is just so worth it. So we'll get back here in a few minutes when we add the first hop addition. Alright guys, we've hit our boil temp. So let's go ahead and start the boil timer. And let's add in our hop addition right now and our brown sugar. Gotta be careful with this part because it'll splash. And I gotta stir this brown sugar really quick because it'll burn at the bottom if I don't. That was 1 pound of brown sugar, by the way. It's gonna be pumpkin pie in a glass. All right, we'll check in about halfway and see how we're doing. Alright guys, we got about 16 minutes left in the boil, but it's going along fine. Evaporation rate looks like where it's going to be. Took a gravity reading in the middle here just to see where we're at. We're reading about 15 bricks, which is good. Puts me at about close to the 1060 mark, which is about where I want to be. I've got my 5-minute addition here of Hallertau, and then I got my pumpkin pie spice that we're going to add here shortly. So just wanted to give you an update. It's going around good, man. Been having a few beers with it, so I seem a little loopy. Maybe I am. This beer will be ready for Halloween, which is always my target date. I always try to have it ready by Halloween. And I am going to send it out to a couple of folks that I promised I would send it out to. I think it's going to be a good beer. So anyways, let's get this boil finished up and then we will put it in the fermenter. Alright guys, let's add our 5-minute addition in here. More Hallertau, 1 ounce. And we're also going to add our pumpkin pie spice in here as well. That'll make the garage smell wonderful. Alright man, we're going to let this go for 5 more minutes and then we'll transfer to the fermenter. Also, if you brew this recipe, it smells absolutely amazing at this point. It smells like a pumpkin pie in your garage. I'm not even kidding. So let's let this go and we will start cooling her down. Alright guys, into the fermenter she goes. Once she's done fermenting, we will talk about this beer and see how she came out. Cheers. Forgot to tell you guys, final gravity was 1059, 15 bricks. So that means that this is going to be about a 6.5% ABV beer. So that's going to be kind of a pretty alcoholic pumpkin ale. So it's going to be good though. And the cool thing is the alcohol really hides behind the flavors. So a couple of those and you're feeling pretty nice. Cheers, till next time guys.